Welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. No, it's not. Let me say right off the top, I'm recording this edition of the Takeover Wednesday night because as you're watching this show, high noon on Thursday, if you're watching it at noon, I am at the Bayou Bucket luncheon between the Houston Cougars staff, alums, supporters, and the Rice Owls staff, alums, supporters. As a member of the media, and my alma mater is involved, I am there at the Bayou Bucket luncheon, which might be the last Bayou Bucket luncheon for the Cougs and Rice for a while. And of course, the Cougs and Rice face off this Saturday, September 6th, 6 p.m. at Rice Stadium, game on ESPN Plus. But of course, you, if you are in town, will be at the stadium like me. And there will be a Let's Rage Cougs show after the Cougs beat Rice and improve to 2-0 on this young season. But back to it. This is the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you have Roku, simply download the BS3 app, or if you want to be old school, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. But of course, you're new school because you're watching shows like The Takeover. You're going to go to Roku and download the BS3 app and help all of us at the BS3 family. Let's get into it. Probably not going to go the full hour, but I also want to share some news with you. This recorded show will be the first of many recorded shows of The Takeover because I start my new job on September 8th, and the hours are not conducive to do a live show on Thursday. So I'll be recording the shows and in due time, get back to having interviews and guests on the show. So I'll record those and have those appearances on the Takeover as well, because you guys know how much I love interviewing and talking to folks and getting to learn more about them and sharing their backgrounds with you guys. But for the foreseeable future, the Takeover will be recorded and brought to you Thursdays on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube and on Roku. Also, as you are watching this show, let me say this, and it's ironic. As you know, if you watch the show, The Takeover, on Thursdays seems to be the day of breaking news, and usually before noon. Alas, sometimes after noon, like around 1 o'clock, after the Takeover, either before the Takeover, and if it's before it, I get a chance to squeeze it in and hopefully mention it on the Takeover. Sometimes it's after the Takeover. But as you see in that banner, Coogs and Arkansas, I was told Wednesday evening that hopefully it will be announced, and possibly as you're watching the show, it has been announced that the December 20th matchup between the Cougs and Arkansas in the Northeast, but as you all know who are Houston Roundball Review YouTube members, you already know where it is, where the matchup is going to be. It's not going to be at the Barclays Center. It's going to be in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. So that could be announced earlier Thursday. But I'm telling you now, if you're not a YouTube member, and if you aren't, just simply scan the QR code you see on the screen. But it is expected to be announced Thursday, Friday, very, very soon, officially. Cougs, Arkansas, December 20th. We all knew that. Taking place in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. My sources have been adamant to me about that for, more than a month? You all know that if you are YouTube members, the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members, you ought to know that. But simply click on that QR code, decide if you want to be all league or all world, and join the club, join the family. Next on this edition of the Takeover. And yes, once the Cougs Arkansas game is announced, soon thereafter, most likely next week, the Cougs men's basketball team will announce its entire non-conference slate. But also, if you are a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, you already know the games and the matchups and the dates for the Cougs men's basketball non-conference slate. It's a perk like that, thing like that you get when you are a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube membership family. Scan that QR code. Join the family. I'm going to do some things a little bit differently on the Takeover. I'm going to talk some volleyball. But you know it's my mater volleyball, Houston Cougar volleyball. Here we go with this. Houston Volleyball is excited to announce an extensive promotional schedule as part of its 2025 home slate. Returning for the 2025 season are multiple efforts which have become a cornerstone to Houston Volleyball home events. Post-match autographs are back for the season, following most Saturday and Sunday home matches, while kids aged 12 or younger are encouraged to join the pre-match high five tunnel and visit the kids zone at every home contest. Every match throughout the season features a theme and contest-specific promotions. All of them are on the UH Cougars website. I'm going to mention a few of them here. The 3-0 Cougars make the first serve on their home slate this week as they take on San Diego State on Thursday. The match features the team's annual dorm challenge. The Houston dorm with the most attendees at the match will win Tiff's treats delivered to their dorm. The first 100 UH students in attendance, got to amp those numbers up. Volleyballs, come on now. The first 100 UH students in attendance will get free pizza, while all fans in attendance can receive the team's 2025 schedule poster and schedule magnet. Closing out the opening weekend, Houston battles LSU, or as Justin Wilson used to say, LUS. Battles LSU on Saturday with the Cougar Dolls and the Cougars Dads and Daughters match. Dads and daughters can use a special ticket package, while those in attendance can visit a princess-themed photo booth and craft their own tiaras. Ooh, that sounds nice. I don't wear a tiara, but still it sounds nice. New for the 2025 season, Houston will host its Your Cause match against Kansas. Each player has picked a cause to play for, and we encourage fans to do the same. Those in attendance can make a poster supporting their unique cause to showcase at the match. The match is also Greek night with a Pan-Hellenic attendance challenge between UH Greek organizations. On October 19th, it's time to turn Fertitta Center red. Those wearing red on match day receive discounted tickets at the box office, with Cougar foam paws given to the first 200 fans in attendance. It's also the program's alumni match, with generations of Cougar alumni reuniting for the weekend. The concession stand will also feature ice cream sundaes for purchase. The team needs your help to fill Fertitta on its 7K day on November 15th as in-state rival Baylor visits Fertitta Center. Houston Volleyball looks forward to a packed house to support it as it clashes with the Bears. The team closes out its 2025 home slate with Senior Day on November 29th. Fans can earn free admission by donating to the team's food drive and are encouraged to stay after the match to honor the 2025 senior class. A lot of nice stuff there. Next, as I touched on at the top of the show, where I'm going to be Thursday, going now to just give a little bit of info regarding the Bayou Bucket. Coogs and Owls in Bayou Bucket. The Houston Cougars, 1-0, will face the Rice Owls, also 1-0, this Saturday, September 6th at Rice Stadium. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Central. In Rice's win over Louisiana, some say Louisiana, some say Louisiana, the Owls gained 251 total yards, 206 of that on the ground. Rice ran the ball 55 times. New head coach Scott Abel likes to ground and pound, run the ball a lot. Rice QB Chase Jenkins completed 7 of 9 passes, threw the ball 9 times for 45 yards. Rice running back Quentin Jackson rushed for a career high 119 yards on 22 carries. Rice committed 8 penalties for 90 yards. So the Owls ran the ball 55 times. Keep that in mind. Because in Houston's 27-zip shutout win over Stephen F. Austin, the Cougs rushed for 191 yards on 46 carries. So combined, that's 101 carries. Saturday's game might go by quickly with all this running and rushing the ball. Houston QB Connor Wegman completed 15 of 24 passes for 159 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Former Rice running back Dean Connors led the Cougs in rushing with 50 yards on 15 carries. Tight end Tanner Koziol caught 7 passes for 63 yards and 1 TD. He was banged up in the third quarter or so, but Coach Willie Fritz said during his Monday media press conference, that Tanner is good to go and cleared for the game this Saturday for the Bayou Bucket. The Cougs committed 8 penalties for 65 yards. So Rice committed 8 penalties for 90 yards. The Cougs committed 8 penalties for 65 yards. But as I stated, and as you all know, I'm a proud UH graduate, proud UH alum. The Cougs will beat Rice. The Cougs should beat Rice, and they will, at Rice Stadium. As long as the Cougs offensive line needs to play better than it did against Stephen F. Austin. Coach Fritz gave the O-line a C. I'd say like a C- D+, because there's too many miscommunications. And they got stopped on 4th and 1 by SFA. It's an FCS program. That's not Ohio State. That's not a good sign. So the O-line has to play better, needs to play better, should hopefully play better against Rice. We'll see. Either way, you know me and my brothers at Let's Rage Coogs. We'll discuss it, good or bad. We will discuss it after the game Saturday. So join us here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as on Pod Slamma Jamma on YouTube and Pod Slamma Jamma on Twitter, X, Musk, or whatever you want to call it. Some more Rice specific news, and let me rename this. I think I can do this on the fly. I'm going to say this before I post it, as I learn how to use this new platform. I'm still learning how to do things. I'm going to name it this because it's not just some football news I want to share about Rice. It's some hoop news as well. Basketball, baby, basketball. You know it's my first love. Rice Owls men's hoops. Coach Rob Lanier received 2 commitments on Sunday afternoon. First one to announce, Alex Leith announced his commitment to Rice Owls men's basketball, 6'7", 190 pounds, small forward / power forward in high school, is a senior at Knoxville Webb High School. Last season, Webb High School finished 34-2 and won the Division II Class AA state championship in Tennessee. He plays his club ball, grassroots, AAU, whatever you want to call it, for Tennessee Impact. Alex was the first of 2 commits. Next one, Jackson Thompson. And shout out to Parker Ainsworth. I think Parker mentioned to me, he contacted me on social media and said that Jackson was this was like a month ago, was on his official visit to Rice. And I think Parker is teaches Jackson and in school, in high school, I think, but they have a relationship connection. So that's when I first learned of Jackson Thompson. Well, Jackson on Sunday also announced his commitment to the Rice Owls. Jackson is 6'2", 170. I say he's a scoring point guard. Other outlets say he's a combo guard. At 170, he's probably going to have to play point guard. But he's a senior at Green Hill High School in Addison, Texas. Last season, he averaged 19.9 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists, and 1.4 steals per game, and helped Green Hill win the Southwest Preparatory Conference State Championship. He plays his club ball for JL3 Elite. JL, it's John Lucas. John Lucas III, Elite. That's 2 pretty solid commits for the Rice Owls and Coach Rob Lanier. Good luck to both those young men, and hopefully I'll have a chance to track their college careers and get a chance to interview them. If not this fall, this rest of this year in 2025, when they get to Rice, maybe in the summer, who knows? But I'll do my best to get in touch with them and interview them and have that posted on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. at Houston Roundball Review. As I touched on it earlier, Rice football and win over Louisiana. Rice defeated Louisiana 14-12 to give Coach Abel his first win. Quentin Jackson rushed for a career high, 119 yards on 22 carries, and Rice earned a thrilling, and it is thrilling based on how the game ended, 14-12 victory over Louisiana to give head coach Scott Abel his first victory. Rice led Louisiana 14-6 at halftime. In the second half, the Raging Cajuns scored a touchdown on a 98-yard, 5-minute drive to cut the Owls' lead to 2. Rice stopped the 2-point conversion to keep the lead. Rice stopped Louisiana on a 4th and 2 midway through the fourth quarter to take over on downs. Rice took over with 6:30 remaining in the fourth and took almost 5 minutes off the clock. Got down to the 1-yard line for a chance to clinch, to ice the game. And guess what happened? But on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, Rice QB Chase Jenkins couldn't handle the snap and was sacked. Louisiana got the ball back with 1:56 to play, needing just a field goal. UL got the ball out to its own 35, but on 4th and 10, Louisiana quarterback Daniel Beal's pass was broken up by defensive end Michael Daly, sealing the victory for the Owls. Coach Abel became the 11th first-year Rice head coach to win his debut, including the 3rd straight. Now check this. Michael Daly, defensive end, 6'2". Looking forward to seeing what he does against the Coogs on Saturday. 6'2" defensive end. Either he's very fast, got some long arms, or both. I think he's a transfer from BYU. Looking forward to that matchup. Rice running back Quentin Jackson was named American Conference Honorable Mention for his efforts in Rice's 14-12 win. He rushed for, as I've said a few times, 119 yards and a touchdown, and added another 37 on a pair of kickoff returns as Rice won a season opener on the road for the first time since 2004. Obviously, that's not correct in 1004. Copy and pasted that from the American. Go figure. My mistake. Proofread, people. Proofread. He was the first Owl to top 100 yards in an opening game since 2019 and the most in an opener since 2018. His 37 return yards pushed him past 1,000 in his career and moved him into ninth on the Rice career return yardage list of 1,019. As you all know, Rice opens up its 2025 home schedule against Houston this Saturday to decide possession of the Bayou Bucket, which has been presented to the winner of the crosstown matchup since 1974. And this matchup will probably be the last between the two programs for the foreseeable future. So get to the stadium. Plenty of tickets available, plenty of seats available. Get there, cheer on both teams, and watch the Cougs win. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. with coverage by ESPN+. Seriously, Cougs, Rice, 6 p.m. Saturday in town. The Texans are on the road. They play Sunday. UH alums, UH fans, Rice Sal alums, Rice Sal fans, show up to the game. Attend the game. I think ticket prices are as low as $25, something like that, $30. You know, Rice Stadium is huge, and it looks even bigger when it's not very crowded. So show up. Yeah, I think it's going to be hot. I think still in the 90s, but still. Ground and pound, last matchup between the city rivals for a while. Show up to the game, and we'll be there. Me and Andy Yanos will be there. We might do a Let's Rage Cougs post-game show from the stadium. So that's another reason for you to be at the game and watch the Cougs and Rice battle it out inside Rice Stadium. Next on this edition of The Takeover, and I think I'll squeeze this in before I get to the bottom of the hour, and then we'll start wrapping it up. As remember, today's show, you're watching today's show, I'm recording it Wednesday night. So you're watching, feel free to comment on what I've said, what I've discussed, what I've mentioned. Thank you for your support. Spread the word. Remember to scan that QR code so you can join the Houston Roundball Review YouTube membership family. And I'll have more content to share. I'll figure everything out as I work my steady job, get that steady paycheck. I'll squeeze in all the live shows. I'll cut back on some things. Some coverage will be cut back as far as going to practices for Rockets, going to Coogs, college teams, things like that. But I'll still do the live stream shows, except the Takeover. That one will be recorded, except for maybe holidays. Time off, I may do that as possible. But content galore I'll provide for you here on the BS3 Network and also on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Next up, some Big 12 football. Big 12 introduces new award. I'm not going to get into the Dave Portnoy Barstool stuff. I'll wait for the conference to announce that. But this is something the conference announced itself, officially. The Big 12 Student Section of the Week. Boy, I love for UA students to win this year at some point eventually. The Big 12 Conference announced a new weekly football award, the Big 12 Student Section of the Week. This award will recognize the student section of the Big 12 program that creates the most impactful and electrifying game day atmosphere in the previous week's slate of games. This week's winner is Arizona State, whose The Inferno student section set a record with 14,280 students in attendance as the Sun Devils defeated Northern Arizona 38-19. 14,280 students. Wow. 14,280 students. That is impressive. A panel consisting of the Big 12 Business Advisory Board, Big 12 Alumni Council, media members, and select Big 12 executives will determine the weekly winner. The Big 12 student section of the week will be announced every Tuesday throughout the 2025 football regular season. Quote from Commissioner Brett Yormark, "The Big 12 is home to some of the most passionate fans and unforgettable game day environments in college athletics. I want to thank our Business Advisory Board, as this concept was born out of conversations with them about how best to showcase the energy of Big 12 football fans. Congratulations to Arizona State for its Week 1 win. I'm excited to see this award come to life and to celebrate the best fans in college football all season long," end quote. Entering the week of the Big 12 football championship game, the student section of the year will be announced. Week 0 games and neutral site games are not eligible for consideration. Now, the schedule for Big 12 football Week 2. Everyone's playing, well, everyone but one team is playing this Saturday, September 6th. Just going through the schedule. I'm not going to give you breakdowns, nothing like that. First up, 3 games at 11 o'clock Central. First, Kent State at Texas Tech, TNT and HBO Max. Baylor at SMU on the CW. Come on, Baylor. You got to bounce back. Even though I know your defense looked really shaky against Auburn. I'm not expecting y'all to beat SMU, but it would be nice for the conference and for you and your morale. The last of the 11 o'clock Central starts. Iowa at Iowa State on Fox. That's, what is that, big noon Fox game, right? I believe, yes. Then 4 2:30 p.m. Central kickoffs. First one, Oklahoma State at Oregon on CBS. That's probably going to be ugly in favor of Oregon, unfortunately. Next, Kansas at Missouri, ESPN2. This next game is a power of Coach Prime. Delaware at Colorado on Fox, on Big Fox. Delaware at Colorado. 2:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Then the last 2:30 matchup, Bowling Green at Cincinnati, ESPN Plus. Bearcats got to bounce back. I mean, should bounce back after they lost to Nebraska in Week 1. West Virginia at Ohio, 3 o'clock Central on ESPNU. Cal Poly at Utah, ESPN Plus. I thought Big 12 was on ESPNU, but I guess not. Cal Poly at Utah, ESPN Plus, 5 o'clock Central. Army, after they lost to Tarleton State, at Kansas State, ESPN, 6 o'clock. Kansas State, Wildcats needed to come from behind the last minute to beat, who was it, South Dakota State? I think that's right. Whichever Dakota is not the good FCS program. That's who K-State needed to come from behind to beat in the last 2 minutes. Of course, as mentioned many times today, Houston at Rice, ESPN Plus, at 6 p.m. North Carolina A&T at UCF, ESPN Plus, 6 p.m. Arizona State at Mississippi State on ESPN2 at 6:30. That should be a good one. Big 12 team at an SEC team. Weber State at Arizona, ESPN Plus, 9 o'clock. And then Stanford at BYU, ESPN, 9:15. BYU hopefully will do to Stanford what Hawaii did to Stanford, but just worse. Beat Stanford. And let's see. Y'all know it. I'm gonna come back to the slides in a second. Week 1, Thursday, Friday, or just Friday. What was it? Cincinnati lost to Nebraska. Baylor lost to Auburn. Colorado lost to Georgia Tech. Baylor's loss and Colorado's loss were at home. 0-3 start for Big 12 against Power 4 opponents. Thank goodness for the Utah Utes and the TCU Horned Frogs for saving Big 12 face. Utah ran over UCLA, and TCU stomped the Belichicks to salvage the Big 12 Week 1 record against Power 4 teams. They went 5 matchups, 2-3. So thank you, Utah and TCU. More Big 12 football news. Week 2 notes. The Big 12 Conference will publicly provide player availability reports for all conference games this season at big12sports.com/FB reporting, beginning 3 days prior to kickoff. Week 2 will see the Big 12 play 6 games against Power 4 opponents, 2 contests apiece against the ACC, Big 10, and SEC. The Big 12 Conference will welcome Fox's Big Noon kickoff to the campus of Iowa State for Saturday's rivalry game versus Iowa. Big 12 teams went 8-0 on Saturday. Positive PR. I'm not going to mention the losses on Friday. Winning by an average of 38.5 points. It's the only time, this is a hell of a stat, it's the only time in the last 40 years that any FBS conference has gone undefeated in 8 or more games with an average margin of victory of 35 plus points on any single day. Shout out to the Big 12 Communications Department for getting that one. The Big 12 is a combined 63-0 against FCS programs since the start of 2019. It is the only FBS conference to be undefeated against FCS schools during that time. Half of the top 10 winningest active coaches in FBS are from the Big 12. Cougs head coach Willie Fritz is 3rd. Rich Rod, West Virginia, is 5th. Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State, good luck this Saturday, coach, is 7th. KU's Lance Leipold is also 7th, tied for 7th. And Utah's Kyle Whittingham is 9th. The Big 12 is home to the only 2 programs who play 11 games against Power 4 opponents this season, Baylor and TCU. The Big 12 won 2 non-conference games by 30 points or more over major conference opponents in the same week for the first time since 1999. I love how they phrase that, major opponents. Notes like that, courtesy of Big 12 football press release. Yes, I do receive that. Yes, I do. Little past bottom of the hour on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. You know what that means. If you are a regular viewer of the show, it's time to share with you a little bit of what BS3 is all about. Play the promo and be back in 90 seconds. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review, and you are watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Stick and stay. 90 seconds. Be right back.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Thank you for watching the show. Back to some college football in these final moments of this edition of the Takeover. Next up, American Conference football. Of course, I've touched on a few of the, Rice Owls, things like that, but more about the American. The full Week 2 schedule. First game, 1 o'clock this Saturday, September 6th in conference, featuring conference team. Howard at Temple. Temple got a win. Who was it? Was it UMass, I think, last week? Howard at Temple, 1 o'clock on ESPN+. 2:30 p.m. next. Texas State at UTSA. UTSA, they did some against the Aggies. Not enough to win, but they put a scare in the Aggies. I got into the third quarter. That game's on ESPN+. Texas State at UTSA. Texas State. Queen Wanda Polk supports Texas State. I think she's family went to Texas State, something like that. Texas State, of course, is doing the Pac-12 next year, July 1, 2026. That game is first of 3 American Conference games featuring American Conference teams, kicking off at 2:30 p.m. UAB at Navy, CBS Sports Network. UAB scored 52 points in their win last week against Alabama State. They allowed 42 points. So I'm kind of curious to see what they do against Navy. Next, North Texas at Western Michigan, ESPN Plus at 2:30 p.m. South Florida at Florida. South Florida got a big win for the conference last Saturday, week 1, over Boise State. Back at it again with another tough test at Florida. SEC Network, 3:15 Central Time kickoff. Campbell at East Carolina, ESPN Plus, 5 o'clock. Florida A&M at Florida Atlantic, ESPN Plus, also 5 o'clock kickoff. North Carolina at Charlotte. Both teams 0-1. 6 o'clock kickoff, ESPN Plus. I want to say at the time, the ticket resale, the game is sold out because of the Belichicks. I wonder how many tickets have been resold or put on the market after the Belichicks got run over by TCU on Monday. But I want to say the lowest ticket is like $140 Ooh. Army at Kansas State, ESPN. Houston and Rice, of course, ESPN Plus. Memphis at Georgia State, ESPN Plus at 6 o'clock. Tulane, off the big win, I guess, a nice win over Northwestern. At South Alabama, ESPN Plus. And then last, Tulsa at New Mexico State on ESPN Plus, 8 o'clock kickoff Central Time. American Conference Football Week 2 notes. The American will issue player availability reports in advance of all conference games in the 2025 season, beginning with Saturday's game between UAB and Navy. Reports will be published to the American website and on social media no later than 2 hours prior to kickoff for conference games. 4 American Conference teams, Memphis, Navy, South Florida, and Tulane, received votes in this week's Associated Press and AFCA coaches polls, the American Football Coaches Association. The American is one of only 5 conferences to have at least 4 teams receive votes in the polls, along with the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC. Memphis enters week 2 with a 5-game winning streak, which is tied with Ohio State, TCU, Air Force, Florida, and Illinois for the nation's longest active streak at 5, really. Navy has won 4 straight, which ties Michigan, Missouri, LSU, and Louisville for 7th. South Florida is the only team in college football to open the 2025 season with 3 consecutive games against preseason top 25 teams. The Bulls faced and beat preseason number 25 Boise State. This weekend, they're facing 15th ranked Florida, or at the time 15th ranked, and number 10, now I think up to 6, I think now, Miami, in succession to begin this year. Tulane head coach John Summerall is 26-0 in his career when his team outrushes its opponent. UTSA, which plays its home opener this Saturday against Texas State, has won its last 10 games at the Alamo Dome and has won 17 of its last 18 home games. The Roadrunners are 29-3 at home under head coach Jeff Traylor. Memphis has won its last 9 home games. Army, which plays at Kansas State Saturday, has won its last 4 road games. Better hope to make it 5 in a row. K-State, looking at you. The 4th longest active streak nationally. Oregon is first at 7. Penn State and Louisiana next with 6 straight road wins. Navy has won 73 consecutive games at home when leading after 3 quarters, the longest active streak nationally. North Texas's 51-zip win against Lamar was the Mean Green's first shutout since a 21-zip win against Troy in the 2003 season. Next, and this will be my last football notes, some SWAC football, and I apologize because of recording the show, did not get a chance to get these SWAC notes because at the time of recording, the SWAC football notes for week 2 were not yet sent to us, sent to the media. So all we have is the schedule for you. All games this Saturday on the 6th. First one is a money game. This is week 2 football, so this is some money games for HBCU programs. 2:30 on the Big 10 Network, Grambling State at Ohio State. Woo! Just get that check and be healthy as possible. Next, Jackson State at Southern Mississippi on ESPN Plus, 4 o'clock. Texas Southern at Cal, ESPN Plus and the ACC Network, 5 o'clock kickoff. TSU lost to Prairie View on the last play of the game last weekend. The last play of the game. They were leading Scored with, I think, less than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but got beat on literally the last play of the game. Now they're going on the road to face Cal. Next on the docket, Florida A&M, of course, I mentioned this earlier, at Florida Atlantic, ESPN Plus, 5 o'clock Central. Bethune-Cookman at Miami, another one of those check games, part of week 2, ESPN Plus and the ACC Network. Last 5 games on the docket. Mississippi Valley State at Tarleton State. Tarleton State beat Army in double overtime last week. They're playing Valley. 6 o'clock kickoff. These last 5 games all scheduled with 6 o'clock kickoff start times. Alcorn State at Alabama A&M on HBCU Go. Alabama State at Southern, ESPN Plus. UT Rio Grande Valley is on the hill against Prairie View. Game on SWAC TV. And from what I saw over the weekend, last Saturday, for the most part, SWAC TV did a very good job with the 3 football games that they were at and covered. In the last one, Arkansas Pine Bluff at Central Arkansas, ESPN Plus, again at kicking off 6 p.m. Central. Final moments. Bring this up. You know this. It's important to me. Let me get this off of here. I'm going to do better removing banners. Scan that QR code. It's a different QR code. This is the Once a Coog, Always a Coog t-shirt. You see how it looks? This color, Dr. Maisha and Miss Wanda are wearing the red Once a Coog, Always a Coog shirt. This black is also available and light blue. So 3 different colors of the Once a Coog, Always a Coog shirt. It's football season now. So scan that QR code and get you and wear it proudly. Once a Coog, Always a Coog t-shirt, and support the Houston Roundball Review when you order it and wear it. And Dr. Maisha Tianru, she's wearing the shirt. She's also a supporter of the Houston Roundball Review via the merch, but as well as listed in the Houston Roundball Review business directory. She's the owner of the African Center of Well-Being. My other sponsors have not had a new sponsor since February. That's not a good thing. So if you are interested and willing and able, email me. Advertise at thehrr.com. Price is $50 for 12 months. You get listed in the directory. I mention you on a show. And also, if you want to, you can advertise. See that advertise here in the upper right? Be your company name in there for one show. So you get listed in the business directory and also advertising on this show, Takeover, my Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows, one show, the Folks Talking Houston, Folks Talking Sports show. So different live stream shows for you to sponsor just for $50. $50. Email me, advertise at thehrr.com. But I want to thank the rest of my sponsors. Bayou Beat, Be Elite Basketball, Byron Riley CPA, the Pinto Leon Law Firm, Pruitt's in the Heights, Star Pizza, Tejas Brewery, United Sports and Entertainment, VIP Realty, and the Saxenian family. Once again, email advertise at thehrr.com. That'll do it for this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. As I stated earlier in the show, I start my full-time job, praise God, thank the Lord, September 8th. So the Takeover shows will be recorded and then aired on Thursdays at high noon on my YouTube channel, slow down, Chris, my YouTube channel, and of course on Roku via the BS3 BS3 Network. Scan that QR code and join the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section. Yes, members only section. 2 tiers. Price of one is $2.99 a month, and the second one is $4.99 a month. As a member, you will get the videos first. You'll get inside info first. The inside info, such as what I've said to members for weeks now, that the Coogs at Arkansas game, and I'm going to wrap it up with this and put it on the screen again so folks can see it and they know this is what I'm talking about. The Coogs at Arkansas, Coogs and Arkansas game on December 20th will take place in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. As you are watching this show on Thursday, there's a chance, I was told Wednesday evening, that it has already been announced. It's been announced officially on Thursday. That was the hope. If not Thursday, then Friday. But once it's announced officially, the organizer waiting for everything to finally be signed, indicted, and all those kind of things, finally getting done. Then it'll be announced. It might be on the website at the Prudential Center website as well. Then the Cougs men's basketball will announce its full slate of non-conference games as well. That should be, I think, Friday, Mondays. Once the Cougs Arkansas game is announced, and a day or so later, the Cougs will announce its complete non-conference slate for men's hoops. But yes, again, the December 20th game between the Cougs and Arkansas will take place in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. I said that for weeks. I saw Seth Davis had it in an article, an interview with Commissioner Yormark, maybe 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. But I said it before that. And you would know that if you are a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section. Scan that QR code and join the family. Thank you for taking that time out of your lunch or your routine. This is part of your routine to watch the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Reminder, Cougs football this Saturday at Rice Stadium against the Rice Owls. Houston will improve to 2-0 on the season, and we're going to talk about it on the Let's Rage Cougs post-game show after the game on this YouTube channel, Houston Roundball Review, as well as on the Pod Slamma Jamma on YouTube and Pod Slamma Jamma on Twitter. Thank you for taking time to watch the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment. Spread the word about the takeover. Spread the word about the Houston Roundball Review. Spread the word about the BS3 Network. Wrapping it up. Subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell so you can receive notifications when new shows, new videos are posted. And there's going to be more and more content for members only, because the live stream shows will be a separate thing. The live stream shows are not going anywhere, but more and more members only content videos for the members. I'm going to do that as time permits with my new full-time gig. So keep this in mind. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.